Call the Norwalk WPCA meeting of Monday, December 18th to order. Noting that we do not have a quorum, it is 5:30. Item number 2, we cannot process since we don't have a quorum. I'm sorry, item number 3. Item number 2, public input. Are there any members of the public present that would like to speak? Can you see people if they're lined up, Daleen? In a waiting room or something?
Sorry, I was just checking. There is not.
Nobody here. Okay,
Nope.
Item number 3, thank you. Nobody present to speak. Item number 3, we cannot do. We do not have a quorum. Item number 4, contract operation reports.
Good evening, everyone. Matt Brown, project manager, Veolia. We had another successful month in November. The Veolia collection system team completed 3.5 miles of TV inspection, 3.25, 3.25 miles of sewer line cleaning, 1.23 miles of SLRAT sonar inspection. We did 134 manhole inspections. The IPP program that goes out and tested grease traps throughout the city completed 39 samples and inspections. We have began a large instrumentation project on the aeration basins. This project was originally set to begin back when we took over the contract, but we had identified some infrastructure issues with the conduit and stuff. And if you all remember, we did a large conduit project to put all the conduit up in the air, and we built some trellises, if you will. So that project, the same company that did all that work is doing our instrumentation installation, along with our SCADA contractor, Aaron Associates. We're going to have nitrate probes, new dissolved oxygen probes in zones that they don't exist in already. We're going to have oxidation reduction potential probes, and we're going to have ammonia probes that are all being installed currently as we speak. And actually, they might have completed it last week. And I think they have a few loose ends to tie up. And then Aaron Associates is going to tie all that in by hopefully the end of January into our SCADA system. Blend tank number 1. I'll share pictures with you in just a moment. The coating team completed the interior and exterior of the tank. Some electrical and piping still needs to be done, and we're looking for that to be fully back online, if not the week between Christmas and New Year's, the first or second week of January, just to tie up some loose ends in that project. Before I move on, I'll share my screen while we're talking about it. The before and after pictures do it some justice, so I'm going to share it real quick. Screen 1. So these first couple pictures are going to be the before pictures. As you can see, significant deterioration and rust on the blend tank. As you can see, this support beam that goes up and down, you'll actually see that in the next picture after it's repaired and coated. So this is the exterior of the tank when it was done. We did choose brown because of the product that goes inside of the tank. That's the color that it was prior. So that's all new paneling on the top part of that you see. There's a whole new roof installed. This is down below in our solids handling building, building 4. That's the bottom of the tank. Everything was coated. So the outside was just painted with a regular paint product, where the inside was epoxy coating with a thickness to it. So here's the inside of the tank. That's as you can see to the right, that's part of that corroded support beam that you saw, all redone, all new paneling. They did a phenomenal job on the inside. I mean, it came out really, really nice. There's our mixer. They cleaned that up, and that stainless steel beam that's going down the center. And there's a better shot of that. As you can see, they replaced all that metal, inspected it, and then sandblasted it again, and then coated it all. And this is, just to remind everyone, this is a tank we use to blend sludges, primary and secondary sludges. And then we put it over our centrifuge. This is the product that goes into a container, and it gets removed and hauled out for incineration in Waterbury. And then let me unshare. couple more points here. We did hire a new office administrator full-time. She's a Norwalk native. Her name is Bonnie Pomponi. She's had a long career in the corporate world in Stanford for many large IT businesses as an executive assistant. And she wanted something a change, so we did take her on. She starts January 2nd. We also, as I mentioned last meeting, we promoted a gentleman who was our utility worker. Utility workers clean the facilities, mow the lawn, keep the place looking nice. He was promoted to operator 1 on second shift last month. So we recently hired a new utility worker who's actually currently finishing up a seasonal position at Norwalk Parks and Rec. And he'll be starting here on January 8th, 2024, and his name is Tyler. The facility was in compliance with all permit requirements for the month of November. No storm events or any CSO activations. The net DMR, MOR, NAR reports were all submitted to DEEP and EPA. The average flow for the month was 11.9, and that puts us right around 12 for a 6-month rolling average on our flows. And the last item on the agenda, which I can address quickly, is the stairs at Bell Island. So Bell Island is a small pump station. Most of it's underground. So the infrastructure. So in one of the valve pits or dry wells, if you will, there's a large staircase that goes down to the bottom of it. It is the original staircase. Just being underground for so long, and I don't know if it was galvanized offhand, but it's very corroded and rotted, and it's just unsafe. So we worked with the WPCA, and we decided it was best to replace that staircase. And we actually have the local company over by our old Trolleyway pump station, Carlucci's, if I'm saying that right. They're a large welding company here, local in Norwalk. They got the work, and they will be installing that hopefully right in the beginning of the new year. Make that pump station safe again for us to access. Other than that, that's it for me. Just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season, and if anyone has any questions.
No questions for Mr. Brown?
I think there's a hand up here. I don't know if that's for me.
Happy holidays to you too.
Thank you.
Yes.
I noticed that Heather Dunn has joined us. I understand that she replaced Brian Meeks, and she is a sworn member of the WPCA. On behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome Ms. Dunn. Thank you for joining us. We actually needed you very badly to make a quorum.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi there. So,
I leave myself off though.
perhaps we can jump back to the only business item, number 3, at 5:38 p.m. So is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the WPCA meeting held on November 20th, 2023?
So moved.
Okay, by Mr. Igneri. Are there any comments, questions, or corrections? I have one barely worth mentioning. Page 2 of the meeting minutes, item number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines up towards the end. It says supports as they both focus of public. I think it's supposed to be on. That's the only typo that I found. Anything else? Anybody else? Mr. Manella?
Nope, I'm good. I don't know how you find those things. I actually look for them. I didn't find it.
So does he.
I know.
It proves that you read it, that's all. So, that's it. Nobody else? Okay, we'll call the question. All in favor, aye.
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 Okay, Ms. Dunn, you are allowed to vote. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Sorry,
Yeah,
as it pertains to meetings, I will abstain until I've actually been at a meeting, okay?
that's fine.
Okay.
Either way is fine. We have a quorum, so
Okay.
the people that were here will carry the vote. That passes unanimously. Let's jump back into the agenda. Item number 5, reports. It's now 5:40 p.m.
All right,
Mr.
Mr.
Manella?
Chairman,
I mean, Cole?
Item 5A is the monthly munis report from finance that we include in the board package. Anybody has any questions? Moving on to item B, we have our draft fiscal year 24-25 capital budget that staff put forward to the CFO and to the city. Copies including the board package. And there's two categories, three pots. There's two pots have money in for the fiscal year 24-25 request. The first is a collection system rehabilitation, and the monies that we were requesting is following the collection system master plan and the facility plan that we've submitted in the last year, or more recently, the facility plan. And we're just following the recommendations as the plan suggested. And that's where we came up with the little over $13 million. With the wastewater treatment plant, part of the facility plan that was submitted was $68 million total over 10 years. The recommendation is non-consent order items. And staff would like to move forward the final settling tank project, which is approximately $20 million, and then an $18 million blower project at the treatment plant that's going to relocate the blowers from in the basement, get them up to the second floor so it'll be more resilient if we have flooding or wet weather issues or concerns. Plus, it's the existing blowers that we have are high voltage, not efficient. They're from the 1990s. They were refurbished about 5-10 years ago. And this blower project will reduce greenhouse gases, help with reduce electrical costs at the treatment plant. And that's phase one of basically 3 phases for the aeration system. So we have just over $8 million of past appropriations for this project. That's why we're only asking for $30 million over the next 3 years. Because it's part of the facility plan, they were submitted to the state for review and approval. So right now this is more of a placeholder because we got state approvals to receive in order to proceed with the project.
Questions? Steve? Ralph?
Pardon? Oh, see?
I guess there's no questions.
All right. Discussion on engineering projects. So the catch basin disconnect program, we just received a draft basis of design report from Brown and Caldwell. And for all members, there's 38 catch basins that we've identified as semi or critical that are connected to the sanitary sewer system that we're looking to disconnect. So we're doing this feasibility analysis. And what we've asked, I've actually asked the DPW engineering team to meet later this week and engage them on this report as well, because it's the stormwater system. We just don't want to disconnect catch basins that could impact the city with the stormwater system. So we want to make sure that we have the right partners from DPW being part of this project as we evaluate the feasibility and eventually go into design to separate catch basins. And that's item 1. Item 2 is the Hubbles Lane relief sewer. And this is a proposed sanitary sewer relief would connect East Wall Street and East Avenue down Hubbles Lane to Moody's, where we have an existing 36-inch pipe where we would look to increase that to a 60-inch in order to convey more flow to the treatment plant and to eliminate a bottleneck at Wall Street and Smith Street. Brown and Caldwell just sent us last week the 30% design documents. So the WPCA team will be reviewing that and submitting any comments back to the engineer following review. And lastly, the Keeler Brook Pump Station replacement. Within the last week and a half, WPCA submitted to zoning for a permit, for zoning permits, the required documents. And we have a meeting this week with the legal team because we're continue to mark up an agreement with Eversource in order to obtain a new easement and eventually relinquish the existing easement where the existing pump station now sits.
No questions?
I have just one.
Let me
Ralph,
know.
is there any update on the pile that's through that Moody's Lane pipe?
Yes,
Is there a pile through that thing?
yeah, actually, I think we did discuss it. And I believe Matt from Violi actually presented a couple photos, but we actually were able to remove the pile successfully. We cleaned about 600 feet of pipe with large debris, and following removal of the pile, a Waco seal was installed to structurally and to keep the riverward from entering the pipe at the penetration. So it was a successful project, and we shared all the costs with the legal team, and they're working, the city's legal team, and they're working with the existing property owners to figure out who's responsible for what cost.
You got any other questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Moving on to WPCA construction projects. The first item, San Isabel Island Sewer Shed Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation. So we just signed a contract with In Situ Form. We're looking to line about around 45 to 48,000 linear feet of sanitary sewer pipe, anywhere from 8-inch to 24-inch. And we have a kickoff meeting with the construction team on January 3rd to start figuring out the number of setups, to apply for permits. There's many documents they have to submit to the engineering or construction management team. So that's what's going to start happening in January. And I would anticipate probably early spring when we start actually lining out in the collection system. I think what they will look to do is bring in their subcontractor to begin cleaning and televising the sections of sanitary sewer to be lined. Item 2, collection Dreamy Hollow. This is primarily a stormwater project. However, the contractors working on Saddle Road to rehabilitate some sanitary sewer that had a reverse pitch and needed to be replaced. So that work is ongoing. It's pile supported, and the contractor's still working on Saddle Road. In addition to that, we've been working with Woodard and Curran in the design for an area along Dry Hill Road by Rustic Lane. There's 2 catch basins that are connected to the sanitary sewer, and this design that they're proposing right now would allow us to disconnect those 2 catch basins from the sanitary sewer, along with improving some additional drainage in the area, and connect it to the new box culvert down on Dry Hill Road out to Friendly Pond. So that design is ongoing. We should have we already have some construction numbers for bid items. Most of this work would be we will be able to get a quote from the contractor based off of actual bid items from the existing contract. And lastly, the 4 pump station project. 3 of the 4 pump stations are complete. Old Trolley Way pump station is the last pump station to be completed, and Kovacs has their electrical contractor on site doing their work with MCCs and preparing for Kovacs to come in with the piping and pump replacement. There are some change orders that we've approved, but that work has not begun. For example, at Woodward Avenue, the concrete wall and the wet well needs some rehabilitation work. So that will be happening sometime early next year. Any questions on any of the projects?
Hey, Ralph, I brought up those pictures. Do you want me to share them real quick, the before and after the pile again?
Sure.
If you guys don't mind, it'll take less than a minute.
Oh, that was a good
Thank you,
question.
Matt.
So this is what it looked like before, and you can see all this debris. We cleared about 300 feet of rubble just like that. And then, if I can this is at, so we put a seal in around here. So this is the after picture. All that debris is clear. And then what you see here is what we call a Waco seal. So this pipe is 5 feet tall, 60 inches. And that seal was put in. There was some issues with leakage down here in the top. They grouted it all, cleaned it up nice. There's no more I&I, no more pile. And that was the end result.
Mhm.
Now I'll unshare.
Somebody have to go in there?
Yes, there's a few guys in there. Yeah, for a team.
Oh. Any other questions on that? E?
All right, sewer use bill adjustments to date is $35,589. And item F, information copies, we have the 2024 WPCA meeting schedule in the packet. I guess things to note, January and February, we have holidays on the third Monday. So we move the WPCA meeting to the next day, the Tuesday.
Okay, are there any questions on anything on this agenda or not on this agenda? It is 5:51. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
Mr. Ignary gets it. All in favor? Aye.
aye.
Okay. Happy holidays, everybody. See you
Thanks,
next
everyone.
year.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays, everyone.
holidays.
Enjoy your holiday.
That's fun.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.